9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now. 352-369-9101.
We couldn't get to Bruce Springsteen in time.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is the other.
I love that. That this has been the coolest president since JFK. You mentioned JFK earlier. There's no doubt that he is the hip president.
I will agree with that statement.
Beyonce and Jay-Z and Bruce Springsteen played for his staffers last night as they cried.
There is nothing wrong with his enthusiasm and his charisma. There is no fault.
I would love to hang out with the guy. He loves everything. He loves. He doesn't really know anything about baseball, but he likes basketball. He plays golf a lot. I mean, a lot. He seems like a pretty charismatic guy. I mean, he's a community builder. So the question is, I have a question for both of you. What's he going to do now? Is he going to be really active politically? Do you think he's going to be on the sidelines taking shots?
I hope he goes on the sidelines and just
pulls the George Bush?
Yeah.
And just
disappears.
Doesn't comment on anything other than his art?
Well, he'll write a book.
George Bush doesn't even go on the speaking tour.
That's okay. He wrote a book, though.
Obama will.
I don't think Obama will. I think Michelle will.
No.
I think she'll be the one going on the speaking tour. And I think Obama will sit back and he's going to play around for a while and just kind of just let things
Then why
go.
is he hanging out in Washington?
Well, it's kind of his job right now.
No. He bought a house.
Yeah, he's staying in D.C.
2 streets down.
Yeah, he's staying in
Not
D.C.
going very far.
That's only until the girls graduate, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then he's got the house in Hawaii.
Right. Yeah.
So he is getting as far away from D.C. as physically possible.
Yeah.
You can't get any further away.
I will say this. The first ladies are important. And, I was a big fan of Laura Bush. And it's hard not to like Michelle Obama. I mean, she's a classy lady. She really is. And it's hard not to like her. She's not going to run for president or anything.
No.
But I thought she was a classy lady. Better than Clinton's first lady. How about that?
Oh, that was a stab.
But, and Melania is not even going to live in the White House. So Ivanka is going to be the first lady when in certain settings, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of odd.
But, that's okay, though. Because why do we have to stick with the status quo on anything? Why is that a bad thing, and why are we poo-pooing it? Odd, maybe, but is odd bad?
It's amazing. I bashed the inauguration.
This thing with 4 wheels rolling around. That's odd. Why are we not on horses? What is the problem? What is this 4-wheeled creature?
Well, I think that's a bit of a reach, Dan.
It's not.
Nothing like going to the pitchforks.
It's not. I'm just saying progress.
What
do we do?
Where would we be? Victorian times.
What if we didn't have 800 years of the Dark Ages? Where would we be today?
What?
Exactly. Where would we be without the Dark Ages? We would be leaps and bounds ahead. Progress is where we need to be.
Oh, I see where you're going with that. All right, I got you.
So you can't
it's
have
the church's fault.
Well, that part, yeah.
Is that what you're saying? It's the church's fault.
Not this
Everything goes back to religion. So religion is the reason that Melania is not living in the White House. What the heck does that have to do with that?
That has to do with progress. I'm not saying it's religion. They're
I'm
just jump right to it.
I like
He's just jumping right to it.
I think I'm a little bright. I think I'm a bright guy, but you going from the Dark Ages to a car.
Change is not bad. Don't be scared of change.
Well,
odd, maybe. Change is not a bad thing, though. Change can lead to progress. Progress can lead to the colonization of Mars.
We just had 8 years of change.
That wasn't change. How was that change?
I'm just saying.
That wasn't change. That was the same old, same
I thought
old.
it was hope.
Yeah, well, it was something.
Wasn't that his thing? It was hope?
But it certainly wasn't change.
No.
So how is this going to be
We've
changed?
already done that. We've done that.
So you really, and I'm a big believer that the president is the most overrated human being in the history of the world.
Puppet figure?
Close.
Now, with Republicans in the House and the Senate and the executive branch
who
now,
has the power?
Are we not puppets anymore?
Congress has the power. Presidents doesn't. And that's why I have to get rid of these executive orders. I think they're illegal. So, we need to talk about these.
About
and I hope Trump doesn't do these executive orders just to get things done. I hope he doesn't lead to that.
We got a phone call. We're going to take another opinion, see what they think. All right, caller, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Morning, Hugh.
Morning.
Say, was Larry and Robin on the way to the inauguration?
Yes, sir. They're going to be reporting live tomorrow from the inauguration of the hamster that got released from captivity at the pet center.
Pardoned.
He got pardoned. Yeah, it was a pardoning.
Oh, gee. Well, like everything else, it's probably very important.
Well, it is, and there's got to be a party for it and an overstate of funds. So it'll be interesting. Thanks, you.
The reason I called is early this morning. I got up really early. One of the dogs got me up because he had to go outside. But I put on CNN, and they were already televising off and on at the site of the inauguration by the Capitol up there, and they panned the whole area, and it was all white on the ground. I thought, what the heck? I watched the Weather Channel pretty much, and they've had warm weather and rain for the last couple of days. We really had a little snowstorm overnight. It turned out that the government, the federal government, has been spending millions and millions of dollars to regenerate the grass and all the grounds area there, and they laid millions of dollars worth of white plastic all over it, where these millions of people are going to be stomping around later on today and tomorrow. So it looked like almost like had a snowstorm here, but it was actually all white protected.
Would you call that a misappropriation of funds?
No, you got to protect the grounds.
I'm asking Huey here. Huey, you got to protect the grounds, or is just too much money wasted?
Well, with all the money that they spent getting it back up to where they wanted and protected it, I suppose in the long run, it's probably better to spend it otherwise it probably would have been a more expense to go back and do it all over again. I would think so, but who knows? If I know the general public, everybody's going to probably take a piece home with themselves and say, hey, I stood on this area during the inauguration.
It's a federal crime.
Yeah, but it's going to happen.
It's
He's
a federal
right.
crime.
All right, thanks, Huey.
Well, what will happen is if one person do it, then they'll all do it because they're all sheep. I mean, even though there's not a lot of A-list celebrities coming to this thing,
yes, there are.
Okay, give me one.
Lee Greenwood.
He's not an A-list.
He is an icon.
Look, I salute the man.
Icon.
I know
when
all
you
the
reach
words
icon status and you know all the words and everybody else does too.
I saw him.
That's A+.
He came to Japan when I was there, and I saw him perform.
Rihanna,
proud to be American.
A-list celebrity. Lee Greenwood, icon. Okay, it's a step up.
But this is going to be the most
Toby
expensive
Keith,
inauguration
right?
Ever.
Am I wrong here, Brad?
What's going to be so expensive about it?
No, it's what he's just talking about. There's going to be so many people. There's going to be so many protests. You look at the cost of cops. You look at the cost of protecting all the people are scared that they're going to try to bring down the Washington Monument.
Yeah, I mean, you got more security than ever
you've
before.
You've got the Million Woman March. You've got you've got protesters protesting protesters, which was hilarious. If you didn't see that interview by Tucker Carlson,
protesters protesting protesters.
This guy he put out a press release, created a website, it was all fake, and he basically said we're going to protest the protesters, and we have these group of it was something like 40,000 protesters.
How far back do you think that goes?
Retainer,
like 1, 2, 3, 4 levels? Are there protesters protesting? And
again, the security is going to be very, very high. It's expensive. It's expensive to run. And guess what? In whoever the next president is, it will be even more expensive than this one. That's just the way it goes. We have to one up each other. I just want the guy to walk down there, put his hands on the Bible, and go, it's time to get to work.
So you think this should be a back alley marriage in the courthouse?
Yeah.
You walk in, 2 people and a witness, and it's done.
Well, take some photos.
Oh.
Wear a nice dress. Have your mom and dad there. Have your family. I'm serious, though. I really think
it's overrated because it's becoming more of
a crowning instead of an inauguration. He should walk. I kind of like the fact that he walks from Congress and he's of the people. Let's be honest. Trump has never been of the people. He's a billionaire. He's always pretty much been on the upper edge of society.
Yeah.
He's not one of us. I don't expect him to get in his Camry to drive across. Of course not. But he's still just a man, and he's not ordained by God in any way, any more than any other God.
Yeah.
Or any other man.
I know what you meant.
So it just drives me crazy.
I hate it when those multiple gods just come in and annoy people.
It should take about half an hour.
Half an hour.
Walk down there. You do what you put your hand on the Bible, you get sworn in, say a speech, thank Obama, thank him for his service, thank us for a commitment, because I don't care who you are, he's only 45 people now, right? He's 45th?
When was the inauguration process, this big party? When did it start? Who did it all start with?
1860s.
Crap, okay, we're out of time. All right.
It just
really,
got
the big
bigger
party?
and
Bigger and bigger.
bigger and
all right,
bigger.
you got a point there. I think I'm a little bit in between there. I don't think we need to have it quite as small as a courthouse shotgun
There's
wedding.
something like 3,000 balls.
All right.
Come on.
We're going to take a little break. On the other side of the break, we're going to find out where the Life South Bloodmobile is today. Talk a little bit about Life South Bloodmobile. This section of AM Ocala Live brought to you by Life South and Ocala Aviation. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Areas of fog this morning, otherwise partly sunny today. Warm with highs of 81 to 84. Partly cloudy and mild tonight, lows between 57 and 60. Tomorrow and Saturday will be partly sunny, still warm, highs between 81 and 85 both days. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Heather Zayer.
Palm Garden of Ocala leads in the area of orthopedic care with proven outcomes. Planning to have a new hip or knee joint due to arthritis or as the result of a fall? Palm Garden may be the answer. Guests appreciate the services of highly trained therapists and state-of-the-art equipment. And if you pre-register, you can secure a private room at no extra charge by mentioning this ad. Palm Garden makes no bones about it. They provide the best in orthopedic care. Call 854-6262. That's 854-6262.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 572-2510. That's 572-2510.
Sunrise Automotive, this is Matt.
Hey, Matt, it's Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Listen, we're going to be doing some traveling, and I need to make sure the car's in good shape.
Why don't you just bring it on by? Let us check it out. We can check all your belts, your hoses, your tires, all your fluids. In out of town, is that up north in the cold?
Yep.
Okay. Let's check your antifreeze. Also, let's make sure your washer fluid has got alcohol in it so it doesn't freeze up north, because that makes for a rotten day. And let's check your air pressure in your tires. Let's look at your brakes, make sure everything is safe and secure there. Let's go through it and just make sure everything is ready to go on the road. You due for an oil change?
Yep.
Whenever you come in to get your oil change, we always check your belts, your hoses, all your lights. We go through and make sure that everything is working properly. We check all your fluid levels. We do that every time you come in to Sunrise Automotive.
So just call you back at this number?
Yeah, just give me a call back at 690-1993 whenever you're ready to come in. And you can drop it off, leave it with us, whatever's most convenient for you. Look forward to seeing you at Sunrise Automotive.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Gene and Debbie would like to thank you for another successful year of business. We want to wish everybody a safe, healthy, and prosperous 2017. We are ready to be of service with our pasture mowing. 352-629-2440. Locally owned and operated. Experienced and reliable. Commercial and residential. Licensed and insured. Powell Gene, Gene at yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. 352-629-2440. Proud United States veteran.
Such a hard-hitting news. Because we are News Talk 1370. Nothing but the facts,
We're
man.
more
Facts.
opinion than news. Let's be
Nothing but
honest.
the facts of our opinions.
Sure.
They're
We don't even have facts to back up our opinions most of the time. It's just guesswork.
well, some of it is, yeah. Well, what isn't? Unless you're Snowden and you've gotten the facts directly.
Did you just bring up Chelsea Manning?
I was making a transition, yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That really, really makes
All
me
right,
mad.
before we get to
Really
that,
makes me mad.
Before we get to that, we got to talk a little bit about the blood supply, what's happening. But first, Bradley, our sponsors for this segment of the Life South Bloodmobile Moment.
Our sponsors are Palm Garden of Ocala Health and Rehabilitation Center at 2700. Is it okay to say 2700 or do I say 2700?
No, 2700.
2700.
Okay.
Yeah.
Southwest 34th Street, Ocala, 34474. Their phone number is 352-3854. Sorry, let me try that again.
All right. What's their phone number?
It's a bad typing here.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes, yeah.
Bad. I hate bad typing.
It's got fading.
You know, he must have gotten his news is reading from Joe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you got to get a new typewriter. 352-8 854-6262, and their website is www.palmgardenofocala.com.
And that's not in the budget, by the way, the new typewriter. Just so you
Yeah,
know.
well, the typewriter's like older than you.
Yeah, it's
and
still not
that's
in the budget.
really old. So.
Typewriter.
Still not
You
in the
said
budget.
typewriter.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Anybody under the age of 20 is going, huh?
You know what, though? I bet a typewriter would be expensive now.
Oh, gosh, probably. It'd be,
You pay $100 for a
Yeah,
typewriter probably now.
probably.
Yeah. Okay, can I finish now?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sheesh. The second one.
That's the longest read we've ever had.
It's horrible, isn't it? All right, Penn Flooring. 1201 Southwest 17th Street in Ocala, 34471. Their phone number is 352-351-3420. PennFlooring.com, providing quality customer service with a family touch
There it
for
is.
over 25 years. You say 25 years? Not that long. A quarter of a century.
Yeah.
That sounds so much older.
Wow.
That's more than half our lives.
Yeah.
Except for
'Cause-
him. He's
no,
close.
no,
You're
no,
close.
no, no,
I
no.
know, but you're close.
older than me.
I'm not.
Well,
He's a grandpa.
You act older than me.
I
You
may
are a
be.
grandpa.
Yeah, that might be true, but
Yes.
still.
You are a grandpa. I'm not a grandpa.
Exactly.
you're
You're
getting
old to be
there.
older than us.
I'm
You're
not
grandpa.
getting there.
Oh, yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
You know you have 2 boys, right?
Yeah, but
they will procreate, I promise.
Yeah, not anytime soon.
Well,
Or I'll beat the crap out of them.
From your lips to God's ears, my
Yeah.
friend. That's what I said too. Okay, moving on.
He studied my son. He's going through the reproductive system.
Oh, good.
All right, and so
it
this is
grossed him out?
this is a great story. So he's studying these words, and we're sitting there and on the dining room table, and I'm kind of not really paying attention. And he goes, "Dad, what is menopause?" That's what I said. I said, "Hey, because my wife is a scientist and has a couple of degrees in science." I said, "Go ask your mom." And so he came out like 10 minutes later. And he had this, "Well, why did you send me in there?" My wife explained the whole thing because she doesn't
Half
do anything
hour later,
halfway.
huh?
Yeah, my boy was done.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Did you get your answer?" He goes, "Yeah, I did." It was hilarious. He got the whole. He knows all about menopause now.
That poor kid, what you put him through.
Oh, it was great. It's worth it.
All right.
He got he knows he will not miss that on the test.
On the quest?
On the quest.
It's going to be a quest, all right. He'll learn that later in life. It is a quest.
Hopefully he never goes through menopause.
Well, he will still have to go through it.
Yeah.
Menopause creates menopause.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
just buy a Corvette?
Yeah, just buy a Corvette
Awesome.
and call it a day.
Awesome.
Where is the Bloodmobile?
Is
We're
that
going to
what
start
doing?
with that.
All right, we're at the Department of Revenue today. So
Excellent.
Happy to be there. It's a great drive. Been going there for almost 20 years. So
Where is that?
Yeah, why not?
It's right there on 200.
Hey, 200 is a really long
Okay.
If you owe,
All
it's
right.
Southwest, it's not far from here. If you owe
60th
money, you know exactly
there?
where it is. No,
Yeah,
it's further up.
Further
It's
up?
closer to the mall.
Closer to the mall. Okay.
Yeah.
By any landmark besides
Yeah,
that?
if you know, you'll see the Bloodmobiles right off of 200. Just drive
Oh,
on
okay.
200, you'll see it.
All right, look for the Bloodmobile. Nice red, white, and blue van bus.
Bus.
It's like a van, just supersized. Okay, it's a bus.
It's a bus.
Trying to just justify my screw up.
Yeah.
It's not
Keep working on it, Dano.
I'll keep working on it.
Single-handedly bringing down the entire operation.
We'll do it.
All right, so what do we want to talk about?
Well, first we want to talk about the blood supply. Where are we?
Right now we have we're right at a 3-day blood supply. We're really starting to pick up ground. Had a couple of good days, but again, we really need to keep recovering from the holidays. And a safe and adequate blood supply is anything over 7. So we really need people to get out there, give the gift of life, donate blood. We're in emergency need of all types. So please give.
Now, when you guys have an emergency, I know you share throughout the country. So other blood people come in. If there's something in California that happens and they're short, they come this way.
Sure.
Does that go international, or are there laws against that?
Can't. We can ship the some, but for the most part, no.
For the most part,
it stays right here in this country.
Okay. I just wondering. You have the whole Italy thing.
And
with
all the blood
landslide.
that we collect stays within side a 50-mile radius.
In most cases?
Just about all of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. So stop by the Bloodmobile. Donate blood. It's a great cause.
Yep.
One donation could save 3 lives?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Or your own life.
That is true.
It's a little more difficult than that.
Well, no, it's not.
Yeah, one of the commercials, though, life you save could be your own.
Yeah.
I don't think we use that.
Yeah, we do.
That's not a line I would use.
Well, now, why not?
I wouldn't use it because it's for the odds of you getting your own blood is like.
Okay.
no,
No, not
yeah,
like that. No, just intrinsically that you're donating blood, so everybody else does, so that because you're donating, you may need it one day.
No, you
Yeah.
give blood to save somebody else.
Yeah.
It's an unselfish act. You selfish guy.
Well, I am in radio.
All right.
Now, where were we?
I don't know. You derailed us with that read that was tremendous.
That was an awesome read.
Joe, he went through the Joe Martone training.
He's talking to you, Brad.
I ignore him.
Oh, okay.
And again, Trump is on everybody's mind, and I think we need to kind of stay on that topic. What we haven't talked about is the cabinet confirmations.
Okay. Now, Galen has actually been paying attention to it. Admittedly, I have slacked off on some of the session hearings. Brad, have you been able to catch any of them other than Mr. Sessions himself?
No.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
The big one was Rex Tillerson. That to me was a big one.
Well, let me bring this up again. We brought this off on air. We brought this up off air.
Yeah.
That who's ever watched a session before this? What election cycle has actually brought this much scrutiny to anything?
I don't know if I've ever watched confirmation hearings for the cabinet, but I've watched it for the Supreme Court.
Well, that's a lot different, and there are a lot fewer.
It is. I don't think I've ever watched it.
And that's my point. Who has?
Sure.
Who has? Unless you're a hardcore politician, political person, who has watched it? The average Joe? Not a chance. But here you are, average Joe, and you watched it.
And
it's brought something.
The difference is we haven't had one in 8 years, and the technology is so much easier to get news now. I mean, you can just turn on your phone and watch news and get all the feeds and get everything else, and the radio, and so it's been easy. So the issue I have is I've been a big supporter of Marco Rubio for a while now. I don't think I can vote for him again.
That has been a problem, and I agree with you actually on that one. So I'm gonna let you roll with that one, because how can he slam so hard and ask questions like he did?
I have no problems with the questions he was asking.
No, I do.
I think
I have
that's
a big
his
problem
job.
with that
I
one
think he has a job, and I respect his job. But it's one thing to say, do you think Vladimir Putin is a war criminal?
And it's
All right?
another.
And then you allow the incoming Secretary of State, who is going to have to work with Vladimir Putin.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. Right now, that's a big hot button. That's a big topic because of what they're doing in Syria, what they're doing in the Ukraine, their influence in the world. We're going to have to get some allies to deal with China and the fact that they're just building land so they can creep into the China Sea. And so to have the incoming Secretary of State say publicly on record that Vladimir Putin is a war criminal, you're shooting yourself in the foot before you even get going. Now, I know Nikki Haley, who's going to be the UN ambassador, came back, yesterday and said that Vladimir Putin is a war criminal. That's a completely different situation. She's not going to be dealing one-on-one with Vladimir Putin the way Tillerson is. And, I find...
Was it worded, do you think, did he give him the thought option? Was it worded that way?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think he's a war criminal?
Yeah, and then he came back and he says, how do you believe that he's not? Based on all of the information that you have.
That is a leading question, and we just talked about that.
It's not a leading question. What he said is, and Marco Rubio believes that he is a war criminal.
Yeah, which he made clear by that leading question is what I'm saying.
Fine, I have no problem with that, but you can't expect the Secretary of State to agree to say he is.
Yeah.
That's my point. And I have a real problem with that, and I lost a lot of credibility for Rubio there.
That's not the word.
I lost a lot of credibility for him.
I hear what you're saying. Okay.
What did I say?
The problem is you guys were saying you need...
You said I lost a lot of credibility. We didn't have any to begin with.
We don't need transparency when it comes to a lot of government stuff. I'm sorry. I don't agree with the fact of we have to know everything. The point is you have to have secrets.
That is a great point.
I mean,
it really
you
is.
have to keep a country safe, you have to have secrets. I don't care. I don't want to see everything they do. I don't want to know everything they do. Because if I do, everybody else does. That does not keep us safe. There's stuff that they have to do. I remember back, growing up and you hear, they charge $200 for a hammer and all this. It wasn't because they were buying a $200 hammer. It's because they were taking the money to do other stuff they needed to do protect us. Now everybody thinks they have to know everything. And then once they find out, it's like, well, that's not fair. I'm sorry. That's stupid. Like you said, we should not be saying what our opinions are, in that way.
Yeah, there's a time and a place, and I'll give you the perfect example. 1991, we went to Iraq.
Yeah.
And so my ship was on the way back from Australia, and we got diverted to the Persian Gulf, to the Persian Gulf region. My mom, who I hadn't talked to at that point in 6 weeks, found out I was going to the Gulf because of CNN.
Yeah.
Now, I couldn't tell her. I couldn't write it in a
CNN
letter.
could do it.
I couldn't pick up the phone. I couldn't have called her when we got to any kind of a port and told her where we were going. But CNN was able to do that. And so I absolutely agree. And CNN routinely puts people in harm's way, just like Bradley Manning did when he released hundreds of thousands of documents. That put lives on the line. And now his sentence has been commuted by the most powerful man in the country, in possibly in the world. And it
so much for a stick figure, then.
really bothers me. That's a power that I understand why the president has it, because there are times when you have to protect Iran-Contra. There were things we didn't want to get out because we were protecting secrets.
Yeah, you didn't need to protect. You didn't need to have any of it released. But
First
anyway,
of all, the guy
right, we got to take a
should've
break. We'll be right back.
Chelsea Manning should have gotten
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. A day before his inauguration, the president-elect chooses a Secretary of Agriculture.
Former Democrat turned Republican governor from the state of Georgia, Sonny Perdue. That announcement expected this morning.
Blake Berman with the Fox Business Network on his final full day in office. President Obama expected to grant more commutations and pardons. White House officials say this batch could focus on nonviolent drug offenders. And Italian officials say there are 30 people missing after an avalanche triggered by yesterday's quake smashed into a mountain hotel in central Italy, collapsing part of it and burying it.
Rescuers have yet to get there in force. Apparently, they were only able to reach it on skis yesterday. Talk of fatalities.
Tom Kington with the Times of London. There are reports 2 survivors were rescued. Fox News, we report, you decide.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I'm 19 years old, and this is how I live united. I've always been kind of a computer geek, and I found a way to use those skills to help the homeless in my community. For people facing hard times, computer skills and a basic resume are so important. It may seem like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in people's lives. So with United Way, I created a program where I work with the homeless. Together, we go through their whole job history, write a resume, and then save it on their very own USB drive. We provide workbooks and training certificates. I even budgeted for cupcakes so we can celebrate as a class when one of our people gets a job. That's huge. When somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." That's what living united feels like to me. My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just